Okay, welcome back, and we need to add some validations right now. And for this, I'm going to be creating a function right here at the bottom. I'm going to say const and then validate. You can call this whatever you want. I'm going to do equal to, and I'm going to open it. So we're going to pass a value, which is, the name that the user is trying to input. And I'm going to say that we are going to get a value whenever we go to validate. And this is going to do the processing, and at the end of the day, is going to decide if we have an error message, and then if we need to show the error. So we need to do this right here before, and for now I'm just going to remove this console log. We need to do it right here before we add the name to the list. And I'm going to say if open and close, we have no errors. I'm going to do this work. I'm going to add the name to the list. But if we have an error from this validate function, we're going to do something else. Since we are using that validate, we can call it right here within the if, and then we just can pass the username as an argument. So if this one returns, true or no error, we move forward. If not, we're going to do something. And the property we're going to use to see if we have or not an error is going to be the show error. That at the beginning is just false, but if we do have an error, it's going to be true. So I'm going to say that if we get to this point, it's because we have no errors. So I'm going to go to that show error, and I'm going to say that we have a false. And if we have errors, well, then I'm going to say data and then show error, and this one is going to be true. We are going to be listening for this property. So if we change this to true, we will show the error. But right here inside the validate, we need to take the username that we are getting right here and decide if we have an error or not. Now, when we have an error, we're going to post a message, and the message will go inside the error property. And again, we're going to listen for this both properties inside the app. So for now, I'm going to go here, and we always start with an error of nothing. So we start with the data error of clean, right? No error message. Then we do the checking, and at the end of the day, we need to tell this validate that we are using right here if we do have an error or not. If we don't, we are going to return true. Since this one is awaiting for this, it's going to get true, and it's going to move forward. But if not, at the right here in the middle, we need to return false. Now, what can we check? We can check if the error, it's maybe the input name, is empty. If it's empty, we want to show an error. So I'm just going to create a simple if, and maybe I'm going to do it right here. Simple if. I'm going to say if the value is completely equal to nothing, well, it means that we have an error. So if in that case, I'm going to return, and I'm going to return false. The other thing is going to be adding the error. It's the message. So I'm going to go to data dot error, and I'm going to add a message, and right here you can put whatever you want. I'm going to say sorry, no empty name. Now, what else can we check? Now we need to check if the user that we are trying to add, the whatever name, it's unique, right? So we need to check the list of names and make sure that it's not a repeated name. I'm going to go right here, or duplicated name. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to data. I'm going to go to names, and we can use the useful includes just to make everything easier. And we need to pass the value that we want to check. So this one again, and actually it's going to be value. This one is going to check if the value, the name that the user is what we are trying to validate, it's already in the list. And if it's already in the list, it's not going to move forward. If all of this returns true, well, we want to return an error. So I'm going to do the same, data, and then error equals to, sorry, something like names must be unique. And then I'm going to return false, because this is the way we trigger errors. And all right, so we add the name, we go through the validation. If there are no errors, it's going to return true. So we move forward to the next, the next part. If we do have an error, we're going to add an error to the errors array, and we are just doing it right here by returning false. And when you return false, it's going to say application, please show the error and whatever error that you have on the data, that error. Now, what we need to do, we need to make sure that this works. So I'm going to go to the index.html, and we need a place where we can show errors. I'm going to go and maybe put it before or between the input container and the list of names. And I'm going to be creating a div, and the only thing that we need to do right here is to say, if we have an error, I want you to show it. So I'm going to say v, and then if, just like that. And I'm going to say, if we have data, and then show, and then error, it means that this one is true. So if it's true, we're gonna show this whole section. If it's false, it means that we don't have any errors and we want to move forward. I want to do a tiny little animation right here. This one is gonna be error, just like that, and then label, and I'm gonna do space and animate it, and we're gonna add some animation. So I'm gonna do animate it. And this one, I guess I'm going to use something different just for fun. I'm going to do fade in and then down. You have all the different animations that you can do right here. And you have a lot. And right here at the bottom, you have the, the API. So it's, again, really cool library. Now, this one is deciding if we have errors. It's just going to check we have errors. But we are not showing the error. So we need to say if we have an error, we're going to be showing whatever message we have inside data and then error. So at this point, I guess we are just ready to check it. I'm going to go here to our application, going to reload it. Let's see. I'm going to be adding no names. I'm going to add and we get sorry, no empty name. I'm going to do it with some name and then the error goes away and we are able to add the name. If I do the same thing, no go. I'm going to do Mills, just like that, and we get Mills. Now, in theory, if we add the same names, it's going to give us an error. So I'm going to do Mills again. I'm going to do this, and sorry, names must be unique. So I can do Mills 2, for example, and that's going to pass. What we need to do now, when we have some names, let me just show you. I'm going to be adding a name. Let's say that we have a good, names, a new list. We need to show the loser. So we need to check that we have at least 2 users or 2 players in order to go to the next screen. So we need to do this. We're going to do it on the next section.